but we track at least half of the commercial foreclosures in the United States. That sounds massive. It's not that many, actually. I mean, it still might be, thousands and thousands at a time, but we have our own criteria for searches. So I'm actually pretty close to this as far as what we look for. What we're seeing is that almost nothing goes to foreclosure sale right now, right? So, I don't want to get into too much inside baseball about foreclosures versus, mortgages versus trust deed investing, et cetera, et cetera. But what we see is that banks are kicking the can substantially. All they're saying is, hey, this should go to foreclosure because they haven't paid in 90 days, so it's technically in default. So we should be moving into a foreclosure action. But what they're actually doing is just kicking the can and waiting for equity to build and waiting for the system to kind of catch up and waiting for owners of properties to slowly figure their stuff out so they don't cause a foreclosure crisis. Right now, what we're seeing on the data side, certain segments of the market are experiencing, I think it's the biggest default rate since like 2011, which is pretty big. Those are big numbers. Not quite 2008-9 numbers, but 2011-12 numbers, I think we're right about there in certain market segments. The difference this time is it's not a foreclosure crisis, it's a default crisis. So the banks aren't moving those. So Saint Investment Group, right? A group that invests in default debt or, non-performing debt and distressed assets full time as what we do. This is great for us. It gives us huge opportunities for us and our investors to keep in touch with banks and just say, do you want to hold on to non-performing assets? If not, give us a discount and we'll buy them. We're seeing some banks starting to shake loose because they want the bad apples off their balance sheet. And so they can go back to lending. And so they give it to groups like us for a discount. Other banks, they really like the assets. They want to hang on to them and they're just trying to get them reperforming again.